Right, 16 September 2024, and today I'm going to give you a quick update. As I said, I'm still traveling, I'm still on the road, and I'm not going to be giving long updates until I am back in my original studio. But today I want to take you through what is happening, and normally I like to tell you things before they happen. So that's why you see that when something is happening, you don't see me getting excited because I already told you before something happened. So take, for example, what has happened at Masvingo yesterday. I've explained that the Great Zimbabwe is a spiritual portal, and Mnangagwa is going to suffer political and spiritual consequences of entering the Great Zimbabwe. So you're going to see Mnangagwa and his whole family, they're going to suffer the consequences. And everyone that attended yesterday, so the people that you're watching here, by next year, this time, you must watch what would have happened to every person that you're looking at right now. Opam Chinguri, she was there. These guys here, you're going to see a devastating impact, spiritual impact on these guys. Anyone who attended this function, they're going to suffer grave consequences of what they've done, which is to enter the Zimbabwe, the Great Zimbabwe, and to desecrate it. That place is the spiritual center of Zimbabwe. So you're going to see everyone here, Anamodi and their kids, and they don't understand what they've done by entering the Great Zimbabwe, which is not a normal place. And you're going to see, as I said, massive impacts taking place. Those who come from Masvingo, like myself, they know what is underground. And most people don't know what is underground, but I won't say it. I'll just leave it so that Anamnangaba, they'll understand. We don't hate them. We're trying to help them. So when we tell Mnangagwa, don't enter the Great Zimbabwe, we're telling him so that he gets help. And when the chiefs tell Mnangagwa, don't enter the Great Zimbabwe, like what he did yesterday, you can see they were right next to it here, near the Great Zimbabwe. In fact, they were touching the wall of the Great Zimbabwe. But the good thing is they did not enter the Great Enclosure. If they've entered the Great Enclosure, someone would have died already by now. So let me take you through what I want to cover today. Then tonight, I'm going to take you through the helicopter crash, because currently I do not have certain details that I want, but I want to give you details about what has happened with the helicopter crash. There was a helicopter that crashed yesterday after the function or event in Mnangagwa, and that helicopter is a Zimbabwe Air Force helicopter. So this is not the one. This is a foul picture. People have been sending around pictures of the helicopter, but it's not this particular one. So the one that crashed, I do not have the pictures as yet. So as soon as we have the pictures, we're going to give you. And also, you will notice that when there's a crash of a helicopter, it is investigated by Civil Aviation Authority of Zimbabwe. So let's see what they say. They have not issued a statement yet. I've seen a statement by Nick Mangwana, but not by the Zimbabwe Civil Aviation Authority. And we also don't know what type of helicopter it is, which country it is from, and so forth. So as soon as I get those details, I'm going to give you the details. But as I said, I like to give you things before they happen, because it makes no sense to report something that has happened. That is to my channel, Little to No Reporter, things that have already happened. So I want to give you things from my sources. So the biggest story that is happening right now is the succession battle. So what is happening is that Chiwenga is next in line. Chiwenga is set to take over as the Zimbabwe president very shortly if he makes the right moves. And Mnangagwa is not going to allow it. I've said this to you before, that Chiwenga will not be handed the presidency. He has to fight, and he has to push, and he has to create a team. So what is happening now is that people close to Chiwenga are getting wiped out. And these are people in the Zimbabwe military. And the latest person to be wiped out or to be taken out is General Peter Zimondi, who was killed in an accident, or he had a very bad accident in which he then went into a coma since July. And he had been part of a hit list that was published earlier around July. So there was a hit list of generals who were supposed to be killed, 5 generals, and he was one on that list. So all those 5 generals who were on that list have died. And according to my sources, before Zimondi died, his gun was stolen from his car. So I don't know if the gun was stolen on the day he had an accident, but they say that 2 weeks ago, a gun was stolen from his car, and that gun has not been found. So it's not clear if there was a reason why that gun was stolen and why it was stolen and why this information is secret information. But this is very important, an important piece of information, that the gun of General Zimondi or Peter Zimondi was stolen recently before he died. In fact, I believe that he's not yet been buried. And so that is the next person that we're going to see at the Heroes Acre being buried over there. And Zimondi was the young brother of Perence Shiri. He was also the young brother of another Zimondi, Paradzai, who died in 2021. So when Paradzai Zimondi died, he died together at the same day with the Perence Shiri and, sorry, I need to get these names correct, right? So that I don't talk things that I don't know. So there was a triple burial of Sibusiso Moyo, Joel Biggie Matiza, and General Paradzai Zimondi. So those people were buried on the same day after they died, after attending a party. And they were buried by General Chiwenga. That is the only national heroes burial that was presided by General Chiwenga in January 2021. At that time, Mnangagwa was reportedly sick and he was not able to preside over the burial of the 3. So the late Peter Zimondi is the young brother of Paradzai and of Perence Shiri. And you can see how closely these guys were linked to the coup. So this family was very close. And if you know the setup of Chiwenga's home and the home Yana Shiri, then you understand how this setup is. And I don't have to tell you what has happened regarding the coup. There has been massive speculation that a coup was being planned on Mnangagwa. And we've been carrying this story for so long. However, I do not believe that the coup is how this is going to end. I believe that what is currently going to happen is Chiwenga will eventually rise, but before he rises to become a president, he must first get fired. So the firing of Chiwenga is imminent. So if you don't see Chiwenga being fired, we are not yet close to a new president. So first, before Chiwenga becomes a president, he must be fired. He must be out of Mnangagwa's inner circle, because he now has to create his own team. And you can't create a team within someone else's team. So what you're going to see is Chiwenga getting fired at some point, not far from now. So expect a fallout between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, which has started. Chiwenga yesterday did not attend the birthday celebration of Mnangagwa. Not only that, he did not congratulate him. He's not pretending to be liking what he's doing. And people like Opam Chinguri were openly chanting the ED 2030 slogan. That slogan has been banned by Chiwenga. Chiwenga said that slogan must stop. Yesterday, all the guys were presenting have chanted the ED 2030 slogan. They've openly called Chiwenga a Mandu, and Chiwenga was nowhere to be seen. Senior army officials did not attend. So I'm showing you the people that attend, which attended. These are the people who are very close to Mnangagwa. And for Mnangagwa, this is not only tribal, but is spiritual. So Mnangagwa has taken a spiritual dimension to this whole thing, but also a tribal dimension. So you're going to see a massive fight, and it's going to be an open fight leading up to the ZANU PF Annual People's Conference in Bulawayo, which is coming in about a month and a week. So in 5 weeks' time, they're going to meet in Bulawayo. And what you should expect is open fighting leading up to the conference, and someone is going to drop, someone is going to die before that period. You're going to see these things happening. I told you that ZANU PF succession does not pass like a button. Someone is dropped before someone else takes over, and whoever makes the first move wins. The guy that makes the last move loses. So that is why it's simple as that. It's not going to be easy, because the next guy to take over in Zimbabwe is going to be a multi-billionaire. The economy of Zimbabwe has been heavily mismanaged. Mnangagwa does not know what he's doing. So whoever is going to take over is going to take over a massive economy that is going to do very, very well. And this is where the fight is. Everyone knows that Mnangagwa did not have a plan. The next guy that is coming is going to sit on billions and billions of dollars. So that is the fight. It's a fight over money, a fight over resources, a fight over control, and a fight over legacy. The person who's going to come in is going to become bigger than Nehanda. He's going to do very, very well. And it won't be Opa. Opa, she's just messing up her own legacy by supporting the ED 2030. It won't be Mchangwa. Mchangwa's wife has messed up his legacy with supporting the ED 2030. And similarly, Christopher Mchangwa has chickened out after the arrest of his son. His business dealings are too much, and he's got so much to protect. So whoever aligns with the military, which is General Chiwenga, stands a very big chance. But it will not be easy, because Mnangagwa is going to fight a spiritual battle, which is what he's doing by going into the Great Zimbabwe, which he did yesterday. He went into the Great Zimbabwe and he did an open ritual. And the purpose of that open ritual is to spiritually dominate everyone from a tribal perspective. So this has become very, very tribal, and you're going to see a tribal fight. It's going to be an open fight before the end of this 2 months. Remember, I said 2 months. I gave you 2 months. Something big is going to happen. And I also explained that the next big thing is the burial here of General Peter Zimondi. You're going to see something big here. Something very big is going to happen during or before this burial. Right, so as I said, I'll be back tonight. I saw someone asking about the crash. I'm going to give you details of the plane crash when we have actual details. So right now what we have is confirmation that the helicopter crashed at Bikita. It was one of the 2 helicopters that was supposed to carry the presidents or VIPs to Harare. Lucky enough, it crashed when these guys are not inside. So Chiwenga was not there. Mohadi was somewhere else. And Auxilia was at a hospital. So this helicopter crashed when there were only the pilots. 3 pilots were inside here. But I'll give you details tonight. However, what I can tell you is that once you enter this place, the Great Zimbabwe, you've done something that cannot be done or undone. So Mnangagwa is going to suffer the spiritual consequences of what is done, which is to enter the Great Zimbabwe and do whatever he did there yesterday. So let's quickly go through news. As I said, I'll be back tonight, and then I'll give you guys details on this helicopter crash. Let's start with some interesting news that I want to cover. And I want to start with Dynamos. Dynamos is doing very, very well. So Dynamos is going to get $400,000 after the week they beat Orapa United of Botswana. So they've now entered the group stages of CAF, and the young men here, Valentine Onzo scored the goal, the only goal, and therefore Dynamos is going to get 400,000 US dollars because they've just qualified to that level, and you get that money for preparations and all sorts of things. So amazing stuff from Dynamos, doing very well on continental football. Then I want to take you to Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa says he's been going through a lot. So he says, swearing and saving Zimbabwe is a cabinet minister in 2009. The journey to a new great Zimbabwe just been through a lot. Blessed Sunday. I do not know what Nelson Chamisa has been going through, but he says he's been going through a lot. And as I said to you, the game is no longer with the Chamisa. So if I was Chamisa, I'll just wait. Nothing that is happening now has got anything to do with Chamisa, because the big boys are fighting, and the fight is going to be a fight to the death. And there's nothing for Chamisa right now until we get to a point where we get a transitional system. And a transitional system does not come without a lot of fighting. So this is the period that you must expect a lot of fighting leading up to the transitional authority. But eventually, people are going to arise that know what they're doing, that are going to lead Zimbabwe to become one of the most successful countries. And as I said to you, the military is going to play a very big part in what is going to happen. And eventually, they're just going to draw a line and say, what is happening must stop. And when that day comes, you're going to see it openly. Then I want to look at, let's quickly look at what has happened with Mudara Uyu. Mudara Patrick Chikwamba, right? Or Mukwamba. I don't know if that is the correct name. So what I've done is I have talked to his daughter. So if you know Mudara Patrick Mukwamba, he's saying he's destitute and he's not seen his children since 2013. Okay, that's what he said. So I've managed to get his daughter, and if he wants to talk to her, he must WhatsApp me on this number. He's a popular musician from Zimbabwe, and I have talked to the daughter, and also a lot of people have come to me and say they want to help him. So tell him to WhatsApp me on that number, and then we'll put him in touch with his daughter so that they can work out their issues. There are massive issues there, which I won't mention right now. Then, obviously, we are doing the Mve research. This is massive. So Mve is a tree that is being used across Zimbabwe. People are cutting down these trees and using it for medication. It treats a whole bunch of ailments, including cancer and diabetes. That is what is being claimed. So we're doing research, and starting this week, I'm going to be letting you guys know what are our partners in this thing. So I'll let you know, and it works. This thing works. I'll tell you what happens when you eat this thing. I don't even want to say it here. I'll say it in private. Then let's go to US Embassy, Harare. They've issued out a statement. They're looking for general building maintenance and repairs. You can go check this out, this advert. If you're into buildings and maintenance, go over there. You get contracts to maintain their buildings and residential properties in Harare. So that's a massive opportunity there if you're in building. So if you do things like repairs, tiles and stuff like that, you make a lot of money if you go over there. Then I want to go to South Africa very quickly. Amazing story that is happening in South Africa. So Old Mutual is forming a bank. Old Mutual South Africa is going to be launching a new bank by the end of December this year, which means within the next 3 months, Old Mutual will be having a bank. And this bank, they've already spent 3 billion rands on setting up this bank. It's going to be called OM Bank. And they've been building infrastructure and also putting in place the systems. They have appointed this new CEO designate, who is Clarence Netengwe, who has been 15 years at the Old Mutual. So this is amazing. The new bank is well awaited and well required in the South African banking market, which is dominated by 4 banks. That is FNB, Standard Bank, Capitec Bank, and Absa Bank. So those are the 4 biggest banks here in South Africa. And currently, Absa Bank is struggling and Capitec Bank doing very, very well. But there is obviously space for a new bank that is going to cover or cater for the mass market, especially a digital bank. And South Africa is doing very, very well economically ever since the GNU. South Africa is doing very well. The currency is picking up. Interest rates are falling. The only thing that is not working in this country is prices are not going down. Prices keep going up, especially basic commodities. People are having a hard time. But there is a general sense of expectation, and people expect things to do well here in South Africa. The new GNU is a masterstroke, especially the efficiency of the new ministers. You can see what has happened with the Minister of Home Affairs. If you are an illegal immigrant, you know what it means. You cannot walk freely anymore, and very soon it will be very difficult to come into this country. But not only that, they are re-engineering the whole departments here of Home Affairs. If you go into the actual Home Affairs, you can see a new approach that is taking place, and issues are being covered, investigations are taking place. So a new government for South Africa doing very, very well. So I haven't had time to look at most newspapers, but I want to look at my favorite newspaper, the H Metro newspaper. Let's see what they're covering up with here. So I'm going to take you through the H Metro newspaper. And guys, there's a sad story here. The H Metro newspaper is good. They break with some of the biggest stories ever. Like before something happens, the guys already have it. So let's check out what the H Metro is saying here. Cricketer up for murder. Right. So this cricketer here, I don't know what is his name here. Let's see what his name is. So it says here, a cricket player was yesterday arrested for stabbing his wife in Kwekwe. Paradzai Musakanda had a misunderstanding with his wife, Tinodiwanashe Makunike, popularly known as My Way. So that is the story that they're leading with here. You can check out this story in the H Metro newspaper. So I'm not going to go all over the place with this story. And then there's a wedding here. Takuzwa and Caroline Maonde here. They had a wedding. Congratulations to the couple. So that's all I'm going to say for today. I'm not going to go through this newspaper because I didn't have time to read through. And currently, as we speak, in Masvingo, at Nemanwa, there is Andy Murizo and Macheso and all those guys. They are currently live. So you can go over there and check it out on the ZBC News platforms. They're busy right now with the live. And I think right now there is Peter Moyo. So Peter Moyo is very funny to me. I've never listened to a full Peter Moyo song in my whole life. But I know so much about him because he does my drama. So that is exactly what is happening right now. You can see that they're actually live as we speak. Right now, I've seen Macheso, I've seen Andy Murizo, I think I haven't seen Prenza. So all those guys are live over there. Actually live as we speak. So you can go and check it out. If you like music, and you can always rewind and watch. So let's look at the comments. As you know, I've been celebrating my birthday. I've been all over the place, going through the Western Cape. You can check out the tunnel that went through yesterday, one of the biggest tunnels in Africa, 4 kilometers underground through a mountain. And then Mkoma Maxo said Zimbabwe did not qualify. He said they did not qualify there in the group stages, so they are going to get $400,000. I know that where they are now, after this win, they're going to get $400,000. I don't know if they've qualified, but I know that after this game, they're going to get $400,000. Mkoma Sasha said the fight between the Wolves, not only between the Wolves, some of you guys who are here, you are going to be killed, especially the army guys. Transition in Zimbabwe is dangerous because the military has not been given its proper space. The military is supposed to be a black box where they do their own thing. That's why I always talk about the military planned city. The military must not be too much in politics and in civilian life. At the moment, there's a mishmash. There's too much civilian politics life. So what you need is to create a separate structure for the military where they can do their own things. At the moment, civilians are too much inside the military are too much in civilian. So you need to restructure that military. I spoke about it on Friday. The military planned city, the Navy, and the military corps, engineering corps, those are going to be critical things to do on top of the high-speed rail. So without all these things, you're going to have problems in succession, because ZANU PF is basically the military, and the military is basically a guerrilla army until you fix the situation that is currently there. And then you have proper guys who know in civilian politics. I'm not talking about people who are just talking. I'm talking about people who can build this economy, who can put in place the high-speed rail, who can put in place the planned cities. All of you guys who are overseas, you don't need to stay over there. All you guys who stay in South Africa, you don't need to stay over there. Zimbabwe is the best country in terms of the way it is set up. Zimbabwe has got minerals. Tourists love Zimbabwe. If you go in a plane right now, today, there are massive number of flights in Zimbabwe, and none of the flights are empty because there's so much to do in Zimbabwe. The problem is lack of speed. So you lack speed. Harare to Bulawayo is slow. Harare to Victoria Falls is slow. Harare to Beitbridge is slow. So if you increase the speed, 2 hours between every place, that Zimbabwe is small enough so that you can do that. And that is why Zimbabwe is going to be a first world country, faster than South Africa. And you're going to run out of land. Everyone is going to want to come over there. And then Mkomanyasha says, morning, what's your comment on Chiwenga congratulating ED? As I said, Chiwenga has said nothing, and he's not commented on ED, and he's given him nothing. So let me explain what happened yesterday. So yesterday, there were 82 sheep that were given to Mnangagwa. And those 82 sheep came from different people. None of the top guys gave anything. So Opam Chinguri didn't give anything. Mohadi didn't give anything. Chiwenga didn't give anything. Then Machakairi gave a truck for $70,000. And Mutendi gave 2 cows. And who's the other guy? So this is crazy. People don't like Mnangagwa. Like, at a personal level, people don't like Mnangagwa because his leadership style is suffocating everyone. So people just pretend to like Mnangagwa, but they don't like him. They are fighting him. And the people that are fighting Mnangagwa are also people that pretend to like him. So Mnangagwa is what we call secret enemies. He's got a lot of secret enemies, including people in his own house. There are people who don't like him inside there. So what is going to eventually happen is everything is going to come together, and it's going to be like a big blast. One day you're going to wake up, something would have happened because of the way that Mnangagwa has just taken everything and tried to personalize it. And it's not just Chiwenga. Chiwenga is just next in line. So when we say Chiwenga is next in line, we mean there is no one in ZANU PF right now who can become a leader before they take out Chiwenga. So remember what I've always been saying. If Chiwenga is there, he's going to be the next president of Zimbabwe. He's going to be the next president of ZANU PF. So what people are trying to do is to find a way around him. And as I said, before he gets to that level, he's going to get fired. And that firing is going to happen very soon. Then Mkoma Mfana says, ZBC gives airtime to musicians, not to opposition parties who should be articulating alternative views. I don't care about ZBC. So the opposition gets a lot of coverage. The only thing is we have to get the opposition organized. We don't need ZBC anymore because with Starlink, ZBC is going to struggle to get as much coverage as people like Gambakwe. You're going to go to the villages. Gambakwe will be more popular than Ruben Baru. In Gambakwe, be more popular than a lot of people that you know. The new internet that has come is such that every single morning we are being watched from Gokwe, from the people that watch the Gambakwe are not in Harare and Bulawayo. We've got a massive number of people watching from rural areas through Twitter. Right now, I'm live on Twitter. Twitter is not data hungry. People can easily watch a live stream that I'm doing here with less than $1 Twitter bundle. So don't worry about ZBC. Worry about what's going to happen. We're going into a transitional period and we need new leaders. The new leaders that are coming are not the old leaders that you have from the past. You're going to have new guys coming in. And these new guys are going to make Zimbabwe so well. It's going to be a massive country. You're going to see and going to do very well. There are no ladies in ZANU PF to take over. No, not yet. So ZANU PF is not ready for a lady. The ladies are not ready yet. Opam Chunguri should have just kept quiet. She must not have gone into this EG 2030 thing. She would have stood a chance. And you saw Uyu, Mchangwa, Monica, after they arrested her son, she became emotional and lost her bearings. So now a real man has to stand up and take care of business. I forgot to show you guys the league. I know most of you guys asked me about the league. So this is the League of Zimbabwe. At the top is Simba Bora. They're now at 53 points. And the top is still looking very familiar. Starting at halfway where there's Dynamos there with 35 points with 25 games. Yada is also doing well, 26 games, 30 points. And then obviously the rest of the guys are going to be fighting for the bottom. But I think Green Fuels has performed badly. They've moved to a very unfamiliar territory over there. So you can go check this out. I'm going to load this up on Gambakwe before the next hour. So I think, guys, I've talked for long enough. I didn't intend to talk for so long. I'll be back to talk about the crash, the helicopter crash, once we get the details and the pictures and the actual location. Bikita is my home. So from Great Zimbabwe to my village is 120 kilometers. And Bikita is where I stay. So within the last 40 kilometers from my house, that's where this crash happened. I can easily get someone to go there and take the picture if the thing is real. But yesterday I tended to believe that something was, a game was at play here. But I will see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if what happened with that crash. But what I know is that Mnangagwa entering the Great Zimbabwe was the worst mistake that is never made. He's going to suffer grave consequences. But let's not keep repeating it. Let's see what happens very, very shortly. I'd like to thank you all for watching and thank you everyone who has sent presents for my birthday, fumojana.com. That is our fundraising platform. So we'll be talking a lot more very, very soon about the next steps, especially with the high-speed rail. We're going to be talking about high-speed rail so that we all become part of it. Thank you very much to all of you for joining and a good day.